What is going on, Black Panther fans? And welcome to episode 18 of the Endgame series. And guys, we got a few more episodes left to go. We got this, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Captain Marvel. And then we're done. We're done, and then we're at Endgame. Oh my God. But anyway, guys, before we get to Endgame, let's calm down. Let's breathe. We still have to talk about the King of Wakanda himself, Black Panther in Black Panther. And that's the next film in the MCU, directed by Ryan Coogler, starring a fantastic cast involved. Chadwick Boseman, Michael B. Jordan, Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, Denai Guerrero, Martin Freeman, Andy Serkis, Letitia Wright, and so much more. I have an awesome guest here with me today. I was recently on his channel recently. We have a video coming up, so look forward to it. And he is an awesome dude. I've known him for a while. I've had him on Rotten or Fresh, and we've collabed so many times, and I had to get this guy on the Endgame series because he invited me on his Road to Infinity War series last year. We did Captain America Civil War, and now we're doing Black Panther. And he's John from The Real Talk. You guys know who he is. John, welcome back to the channel, man. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, Ryan? Thank you so much for having me, man. And yeah, it's kind of cool. Everything's coming full circle. I had you on the Road to Infinity War, and now I'm on your Endgame series. And it's cool because we're talking about Black Panther, and Black Panther kind of made his debut in Civil War, and now we're talking about him in the solo film. So thank you so much for having me on, man. I'm super excited.
We were just meant to talk about T'Challa together.
Wakanda forever.
Guys, before we talk about Black Panther and talk about how great and important of a film it is today, we want you guys to chime in down below in the comment section. First of all, what do you guys think of Black Panther? Do you love it? Think it's overrated? Do you hate it? Let us know down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. And we're not just reviewing the movie. We're going to be answering questions along. I'm going to ask John some questions. And let us know your responses down below. Let's begin with the first question, John, is what was your first experience with Black Panther? Have you read the comics before, and was he introduced to you in Civil War? And what was your experience seeing this film?
I kind of knew a little bit about him in the comics, and then also in the, like, some animated shows. But yeah, obviously my first introduction to him was in Civil War. And I mean, it was kind of great. We kind of had his kind of like backstory. But the first time I saw the actual Black Panther film was a pretty cool story because I actually entered a radio contest. And I was at work one day and they called me. I answered and I was like, "Hello, who's this?" And I was almost this close to not answering. And like, "Hey, we're looking for John." I was, "Yeah, that's me." And they're like, "We just want to let you know you won some advance tickets for Black Panther." So I saw it like a week early. I think I was on the radio too. So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool experience to see it a week early in IMAX. And I was so pumped for it in the beginning because I loved him in Civil War. So
when they announced, first of all, that Chadwick Boseman was going to play T'Challa / Black Panther, I was extremely enthusiastic about it because I love Chadwick Boseman. I thought back in the day he was a really underrated actor. He did 42. He did that Jackie Brown movie, and I just loved him as an actor. And I was excited to see him as Black Panther in Civil War. And I'll just say this right off the bat. I loved him more than Spider-Man in that film. Black Panther was the big standout to me, and I was super excited for a solo film. And now Black Panther comes out, and when we found out Ryan Coogler is directing it, super excited. We'll talk about him later. But the cast that they got involved for this movie is mind-blowing. So many Oscar-caliber actors in this film. How could this film disappoint? And it did not disappoint. Black Panther was so good. I loved it. In the theater, seeing it opening night, IMAX 3D, sold-out crowd. Everyone loved it. This film had a major impact on people, and it's great. I absolutely loved it. So, John, talk about Ryan Coogler a little bit. What was your thoughts when you found out he was going to direct this film?
Obviously, we know he did Fruitvale Station and in Creed. So, coming off those two, he knocked it out of the park. Coming to the MCU film, I thought he was just perfect, especially like you said with that cast. Little by little, I was just getting that more excited, like with each casting announcement. And I was super stoked. I thought he was perfect, and I can't wait to see what he does in the second one. I think he's coming back, right?
He should. He should. Again, just like you, Ryan Coogler was an upcoming director after doing Creed and Fruitvale Station, and now Black Panther, adding in a comic book film to his resume. It just sounded completely exciting. And he absolutely nailed Black Panther. He was the perfect director for this film, bringing in all these cast members, giving them their own roles, their own times to shine. And just the cultural impact that this film had was incredible. And it inspired so many people. It was big in the country of Africa. It explored that African nation extremely well in this film, and just the African American culture, how much they love the film, as well as all audiences in general. All right, so now it's time to talk about a little controversy when this film got nominated for Best Picture. John, do you feel this movie deserved a Best Picture nomination? Do you feel this is the first superhero film to get nominated for Best Picture? What were your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, I didn't like hate it. Like I'm kind of like you were talking about how it had such a cultural impact. And for this to be the first superhero film, I mean, it's kind of like, we've had stuff like Logan and The Dark Knight, so it's kind of like shocking that we haven't had one yet, but it's pretty cool. I mean, I like it because we're heading towards like a cool direction in the Academy, recognizing these films and kind of just more than superhero films. But I personally liked Infinity War a little bit better than Black Panther, but I can totally see why I got nominated, and I think it won in the right categories, like best original score, which the score was fantastic and stuff like that. So I mean, I wasn't really bothered, but I was kind of like, oh, maybe Infinity War should have been nominated, which it did for one award, but I mean, I wasn't hating on it like a lot of people were.
Yeah, I'm on the same ballpark. I mean, Black Panther was one of my top 10 favorite films last year. I think it deserved a Best Picture nomination out of all of them, but yeah, Infinity War is definitely better. I can see why they nominated Black Panther, because the cultural impact and all that, the costumes and all that were just screaming Academy level. But yeah, it was great. I love the decisions. I love all the nominations that Black Panther got, because it's about time they give love to superhero films. And I think this is the time that they're going to start to take superhero films seriously. Infinity War is a better movie, but if you compare both of them, they both were going for different things. Black Panther was just going as a standalone film, and Infinity War is a 10-year buildup, an event film. So yeah, I understand why Black Panther got all those nominations, and I wasn't mad about it. Let's talk about some side characters, John. I'm going to exclude Killmonger because I know you're going to pick him, but I want to hear, who's your favorite side character in this film?
I know a lot of people like Shuri, but I have to go. I'm forgetting his name, but with Danny Kaluuya's character.
Oh, Wakabi.
Yeah, Wakabi. There you go. I really liked his character because I feel like, because personally, I mean, he was coming out from Get Out and stuff like that, so I was really interested to see what he was going to do next in the superhero film. So not blown away, but I was really interested in what Ryan Coogler did with the cast surrounding T'Challa and Chadwick Boseman, because obviously, like we said, they're all great actors, but he also was able to make them each individually like interesting. So like you said, Wakabi, like he had a really kind of interesting arc that he was all for following T'Challa and stuff like that, but then slowly he kind of started questioning the way he was doing things. And again, that's kind of like the arc of T'Challa himself. He kind of was struggling with like what exactly to do with certain situations and for his kingdom and stuff like that. So I thought Wakabi was a perfect example of like one of his close friends that, unfortunately he couldn't please everybody. And then he kind of took actions into his own hands, and he kind of helped Killmonger as well. So it was a cool little arc for him. And I was kind of surprised to see that in a movie like this. And that's one of the many reasons why I ended up really loving Black Panther, because just the supporting cast was really great. But I thought his character was kind of really interesting, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of him in the future.
Fun fact, John Boyega was originally going to be in this film as Wakabi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was actually that speculation, but of course he canceled because of episode 9, obviously. Yeah. But that would have been interesting. But I think Daniel Kaluuya was really good as Wakabi. Definitely his transition and all that, his arc and all that was definitely a very interesting part. But yeah, my favorite character, I would say Shuri as a likable character, but I also love Okoye. Okoye is a badass.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Denai Guerreri, she just is awesome. Like, she's a badass. She is awesome. She's funny in the film as well, like an antilopian in the headlights. And then don't freeze, and then I never freeze. Like, I think the back and forth with Okoye and T'Challa are really good, and Denai Guerreri just brings that awesome charisma to the character, and like you could definitely buy that she's this general of the Dora Milaje, these fierce women of Wakanda, and she was really good. Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia was a great character, and of course you can't forget about Winston Duke as M'Baku. Like, come on, Mata, Mata,
Awesome, man.
of course. I will feed you to my children. Just kidding. We are vegetarians.
Even before us, he had comedic chops.
Yeah. T'Challa, M'Baku took your girl.
Oh, I know. Oh, man.
Yeah, I love that joke. Oh, John, I want to know your favorite scene in this movie by far. What's your favorite scene?
That's pretty hard because there's a lot of like great scenes. Like I love the beginning and how that kind of plays into like a little bit later. But you exclude him and the favorite side of characters, and obviously Killmonger for me, he's probably my favorite. But
yeah, me too.
Just that end scene that he has with T'Challa after they have their battle and stuff like that, kind of, it brings his character full circle, and he kind of makes a decision for himself, and kind of makes T'Challa realize a lot. So I feel like that moment is a realization for a lot of people's arcs and stuff like that, and like you kind of feel for Killmonger along his journey, but also for T'Challa. And so when that moment he said, "Hey, we can save you," and he's like, "No, like I rather die than be." Forgetting exactly what he said.
I don't know what he said.
Moment. And cinematography, the score, everything in that moment was just perfect and really emotional, and that's something you don't get in a lot of superhero movies. So I really love that moment.
The second combat fight with him and T'Challa, where he throws him off the cliff, that was a really good scene. But I'm gonna go with the museum scene, Killmonger's introduction. Like, I love that scene so much.
Yeah, that was cool.
That museum scene was so unique. I absolutely love all the lines. You get introduced to this character, Eric Stevens or Killmonger, and Michael B. Jordan just resented that role perfectly. From that opening museum scene, he's like, "Tell me about this one. Tell me about this one. What about this one?" Nah, that's from Wakanda. Oh, yeah. Man, so good. And you had all the security around you, and you didn't check what you put in your body, and then it just sets up. You see Andy Serkis as Ulysses Clawback and all that. It's so good. I love Killmonger's theme, too, the bum, 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 bum.
Exactly, yeah. I was about to tell you that before.
The score is really good. Oscar well-deserved. I mean, the African music mixed with the rap music for Killmonger, it's so well incorporated into this film. But now let's talk about our least favorite scene. John, do you have a least favorite scene that you can think of?
Well, something I guess you can put in that category is like, I mean, when Killmonger threw him out off the cliff, we kind of knew he was coming back, So I guess that little stunt when he appears and M'Baku has him and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I guess just a little nitpick I have with the movie, not necessarily like a scene.
I guess people could say the final fight, there's so much CGI, but I didn't really hate it. Come on. Other than that, there's not really a scene that sticks out in my mind as being, I guess maybe the scene with Shuri and T'Challa when Shuri is showing him all the tech that they're going to bring to South Korea. Everyone talks about the what are those? Yeah, that was definitely definitely a dead meme, but that's really all I could think of. But I didn't hate any scene in this movie to pick a specific scene. So, John, talk about Killmonger. Why did this villain work so well?
Getting someone like Michael B. Jordan to play this guy was perfect casting. Again, Ryan Coogler and the whole entire team there did an incredible job with the casting. But I just thought he worked because not only did we, like I said, the movie kind of started with his backstory, even though we don't really know it was his backstory. So I love that it's incorporated also with T'Challa. So when you have a villain that's really connected to our main hero, that really works so well, And the fact that we kind of know what he's going through, Killmonger, like we kind of connect with him, and it's kind of. It sucks that it's kind of similar to what's going on in the world right now. And that's another thing that they really connected it to the real world issues that are going on right now. He works so well because he's kind of trying to do good, but in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? Like we understand that, but just the way he's doing things, obviously he can do things a little bit better. So, and he was just not one note, kind of like Malekith, he was so well done, and Michael B. Jordan is a big part of that. And, yeah, man, he just has a lot to him. There's a lot of that you can dissect to him, and that's why I mean, kind of like Thanos, you know. So I mean, I hope for some reason he comes back, even though we think he's dead, but he's supposed to come back, Michael B. Jordan. So
it opens up with Killmonger in the beginning as a young boy, his father Sterling K. Brown, given that exposition and all that millions of years ago.
Another great actor, Forrest Whitaker as well,
and just that scene where they come face to face with one another. Killmonger brings up a lot of great points. Exactly. You know, you have all the source around you. Wakanda has the tools to liberate them all. They got weapons and all that they could provide. And you could definitely see where both sides are coming from. And that's why this villain worked extremely well. And Killmonger is very human, and he's also very intense. All right, so now let's talk about the end credit scenes. There were 2 end credit scenes. John, what were your thoughts on those end credit scenes?
The one with Bucky was kind of like, you know, I think that's when we first started like referring to him like kind of like the Jesus looking character, you know, the white wolf and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool to see, because I think at the end of Civil War we got to see that they were gonna, you know, leave Bucky there. So it's cool to finally see, like, you know, what he was up to. And the final one, I'm actually forgetting that one. The other.
Oh, that's when they went to Vienna to announce Wakanda's opening it up to the world.
Oh, okay. See, I thought the movie ended like that. So I thought that was pretty cool too. It kind of, you know, lets you know that, you know, he kind of is taking Killmonger's, you know, what he said into consideration. Like, he's trying to do it politically. He's trying to do it the right way, you know? I
also like that Martin Freeman's character, Everett Ross, got more to do in this film. A lot of people thought he was unnecessary. I thought he was fine. He was cool. Ulysses, definitely one of my issues is that they killed off Ulysses Claw very early. Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis died. Yeah, Andy Serkis dies in every movie he's in now. But yeah. But yeah, those were my really only issues with the film. And John, I want to ask you something. Where does Black Panther rank in your MCU ranking? I'm curious.
Actually, you know what? Let me pull it up right now. All right, it's at number 7 right now.
Number 7. All right, so it's my number 6.
So yeah, we're right about there.
We're close. We're close. Yeah, I have Iron Man at number 7, so it's back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so now let's get to the final question. John, how will Black Panther affect the Endgame?
Well, to be honest, I mean, we kind of know how he, you know, was dusted in Infinity War, but I think Wakanda's still going to have a presence. You know, I think we're going to see. Well, I thought we were going to see Shuri, but supposedly she got dusted too. You know, but we still have Okoye, Denai Guerrero's character there, so I'm pretty sure Wakanda is still going to be represented in some way, shape, or form. M'Baku, you know, still there as well.
Alive. Yeah.
Probably his mother as well, which we kind of didn't touch upon. She was great as well. But I feel like Wakanda is going to have a big presence, and I feel like that scene. I think that's one of my theories. That scene at the end of one of the trailers for Infinity War, where they're all running, Hulk is there. For some reason, I feel like that one's going to be in Endgame. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with the time shift and stuff. But I have a feeling like we're going to get that scene again, or they're going to revisit that battle in Wakanda again. So I think that's how it's going to, you know, affect Endgame. And I'm pretty sure, hopefully, that we get our beloved, you know, King T'Challa back, you know, so.
I unfortunately don't think that scene will be in Endgame because Cap has his beard and Black Panther still dusted, but I don't know. What if they surprise us and then it actually is in the movie?
They can do anything, man. I'm still.
Anthony and Joe Russo, you sneaky guys. You.
Yeah, man.
So Black Panther, if you haven't seen Infinity War, it's your problem. He turned to dust at the end, so you have to think of it in 2 perspectives on how Black Panther is going to come back. For sure, he's coming back, or else the whole world is going to revolt. And if he doesn't, but yeah, you definitely have to look at who's still alive. Okoye's still alive, and M'Baku's still alive. Those are the only Black Panther members that are alive at the moment. How they're going to try to help, how Okoye is going to get her king back, and how to get Shuri back as well, and try to build all the wrongs and build Wakanda back up since Infinity War happened, that big Battle of Wakanda. Even though Black Panther doesn't have any Infinity Stones in it, they're definitely going to use time travel, go back to some of the MCU movies in the past to try to build a new Infinity Stone to beat Thanos. And so Black Panther is going to have a huge part to that end battle for sure. And I'm very curious how they're going to bring the characters back, what unique way they're going to use different tools. Maybe Tony's already built something up incredible. I just have no idea. That's our thoughts on Black Panther. Those are our answers to Black Panther. How do you guys think this will affect the Endgame? We want to know your answers down below. And what are your thoughts on the film? And John, thank you so much, man, for joining me on the Endgame series, talking about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And John, tell my subscribers really quick where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you guys can find me on YouTube just at The Real Talk, real spelled R-E-E-L, and on social media at The Real Talk, talk with 2 Ks. And then again, thank you, Ryan, so much for having me on this series. I had a blast talking Black Panther, and it was about time that I rewatched the movie as well, leading up to Endgame. So, yeah, man, thank you so much for having me.
Guys, stay tuned to the next episode, the next 2 episodes of the Endgame series, correction. And they're the big ones. Next is Avengers Infinity War. And joining me for Infinity War is Larry from LC Screen Talk. And then we got Ant-Man and the Wasp. And joining me for that is Devin Pilgrim. 2 very exciting episodes coming at you guys. And guys, please go subscribe to John from The Real Talk. His channel link is in the description below. Does a lot of movie reviews and all that Blu-ray stuff as well. Thank you for watching this episode. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe to John and me for more content. And all my social media links are in the description down below. Click that notification bell on your way out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!